Mr. Chairman. Appreciate everyone's testimony. Obviously, incredibly difficult season for everyone as we actually walk through the time of the pandemic. No one saw this coming, obviously, and you had a rapid response as everyone else did, as several of you testified. Everyone went home for a couple of weeks and thought this would be a couple of weeks, and now we're a year into it. But there are some lessons learned in this. I want to make sure I drill down on a couple of these. Ms. Kim, in your testimony, you noted that express interviews were offered at 81 offices. Some of those offices were actually in Oklahoma. What have you learned from that pilot? What will remain that you have learned from that pilot?
So, Senator Lankford, the express interviews is one of the things that we've instituted during the pandemic to shorten the time that members of the public are in our field offices, and that's out to protect their safety as well as our employees. And we have learned the response to that pilot has been overwhelmingly favorable, and we are rolling out express interviews nationwide because of the effectiveness that process has had in enabling us to process certain transactions more quickly and to be able to serve our customers in a better way.
So obviously, people don't want to spend a long time in the office, pandemic or not pandemic at this point. When you talk about this is something you're going to continue to expand one way or the other on it. And what's your anticipated timeline for that expansion?
We're in the process of expanding now. I would have to add some additional information for the record if you want a specific timeline, but we are in the process of expanding express interviews to all 1,200 of our field offices.
If I can just get a follow-up on that from you. I don't need an exact date, but give me generalities on times and a follow-up after for the record. That'd be helpful, just so we'll know, is this going to take 10 years to implement? Is this going to take 10 months to implement? And so we can get a good feel for that.
I would be happy to do that.
So the disability case processing system has had a few questions, as you know well. The Inspector General has raised some issues. There's some outside third-party groups that have done some audits that have raised some issues. My state has not fully implemented that yet, based on some of those questions and issues on security. Tell me the status on that, because obviously that's a lot of private information that's out there. We want to have a more efficient system that's helpful, but it's got to make sure it actually works and it's got to be actually secure. So give me an update on it.
So in July of last year, Commissioner Saul made the decision to have DCPS as the national case processing system. So since that time, we have been working with each state to transition DCPS to all states. Currently, we have 47 states that are now rolled on to DCPS, and we are continuing to work with those remaining states that are not yet on DCPS. And what we are doing is we're deploying staff to states like Oklahoma to ensure that they have the support that they need to address the unique questions and concerns and issues arising for those states. And so I am confident that we are going to be able to transition all states to DCPS in the next year or so.
Are you confident in the security of the system as well?
I am.
Okay, we will be able to follow from there, but I appreciate that very much in the engagement. There's a lot, again, that we've learned from this time of the pandemic. One of them is how much we've done by remote that we never thought we could do remote. So as we look forward in the future, are there opportunities or an examination at least to be able to look at hiring Social Security employees that may never come into the office, that could work in more remote areas a long way from the office, but could still fulfill those those job opportunities? And I'm thinking especially of people that work that are spouses of those that are active duty, that may be transferred every 2 or 3 years to very remote areas of the country on bases and posts. They'd like to be able to have a stable job and a place to be able to work. Are there job listings that you've seen now to say, we haven't had this as a permanent remote work task, but we could do this as a remote work task in the future? And so are you open to listing it that way on USA Jobs and opening it up?
So we have not made any decisions about precisely that type of job listing, but I am open to considering it because we've learned many lessons during this pandemic, particularly what is truly portable work that could be performed at a location away from the office as if the person is in the office themselves. And so I think we have opportunities as we've identified those workloads that are truly portable, to think about hiring future staff who may not ever set foot in a SSA facility.
That'd be very helpful to be able to have a surge capability in any office because they could work from anywhere, or to be able to increase the number of highly qualified people that you could actually recruit to be able to work with SSA, because you could recruit them from anywhere. So appreciate that very much. Thank you.